everyone. This is my non-spoiler review of the Madman's Daughter trilogy by Megan Shepherd. First book is The Madman's Daughter, second book is Her Dark Curiosity, and the third book is A Cold Legacy. And I think all of these books have absolutely gorgeous covers. So like I said, this review will have no spoilers. I'm just going to tell you what the books are about, well, what the first book's about, because I don't want to spoil anything, and my opinions on them. I'm also going to be doing a spoiler discussion of these three books, so if you have read them, the link will be in the description and you can go check that out so we can talk about all of the details and all the crazy stuff that went down. So this series is about a girl named Juliet, and at the beginning of The Madman's Daughter, she is working as a maid. She believes her father to be dead, and then her mother passed away as well, so she doesn't have any parents, so she's just barely trying to get by. A few years ago, her family suffered a sort of scandal involving her father, and he's a scientist, so it involved him and sort of his experimentations, and so he disappeared, but she believes, like I said, that he died. Come to find out, her father did not die, and he is living on an island. Juliet's living in London, and she knows that her father is still alive because his assistant named Montgomery returns to London for supplies to gather for her father, and turns out Montgomery was actually a childhood friend of hers, so she recognizes him, and then he ends up telling her that her father is alive, and she wants to escape from this life that she's living, and she wants to go see her father, so she traveled with Montgomery to this island to see her father again, figure out why he just abandoned her and her mother, what he's doing on this island, his new life that he has and what it involves. He finds out what he's doing is not too great. He is continuing his experimentations that he was accused of doing in London, but now he's doing them on this island, and things go crazy from there. There's also this character named Edward that's introduced in the beginning. Whenever Juliet and Montgomery are traveling on the ship to the island, they find Edward as a castaway and they save him and bring him to the island with them. So we have this character Edward, makes things interesting. So yeah, basically where this story starts off. I ended up giving The Madman's Daughter a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it and I really loved it. For me, it was a very interesting and fascinating story. I am a science major in college. I'm majoring in biochemistry, and I've always loved science. I love how much this book delves into science. Although it goes to the dark places of science and experimentation, I still found it extremely fascinating. I really loved the writing in the book. I felt it to be very engrossing and just captivating. I could not stop reading. I just had to know what was going to happen. I had to know what was going on. There are a lot of curious things on this island. There are a lot of mysteries that Juliet's trying to figure out. A lot of things go crazy. And so yeah, Juliet's really trying to figure out what's going on and figure out what's kind of wrong with her father, and I really enjoyed it. It's really dark, it's really twisted, and I would say if you get scared kind of easily, this isn't the book you want to read at nighttime. I think it would be a good Halloween story. It's very creepy. Books often don't really freak me out or get to me, but this book really freaked me out at some points. It was really kind of scary at times. I found Juliet to be a good main character. I like how smart she is. She's very intelligent. She's curious. She's brave. I don't really have any complaints about it. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I don't know why I couldn't give it 5 stars. It didn't really knock my socks off or blow me away, so I couldn't give it 5 stars, but I still really enjoyed it. So the sequel, I'm not going to get into it, but I will say that these books are kind of companion novels. Each book, the sequel and the third book, they take place in different settings. We have the same characters, you know, Juliet's still our main character, but they each take place in different settings. So the first book takes place on an island, and I'm not going to tell you the settings of these books because of spoilers, but they are different settings, and I thought that was really cool. I don't know if I mentioned this, but these books are historical fiction. Pretty sure they're set in like the 1800s. You don't really get a date but they are historical fiction, so I love that aspect as well. I really love the settings in all 3 books. They were totally captivating. I thought they were built up very well. I gave the second book a 4 out of 5 stars as well. Again, really enjoyed it, extremely fascinating. I love where the plot goes in this one. This one has a ton of drama, and it's great drama. It's so entertaining, and again, I couldn't put this book down. I had to know what was going to happen, and it was so crazy. Third book, 4 out of 5 stars as well. So overall, I gave this series a 4 stars. The ending was satisfying. This was probably my least favorite book of the trilogy, unfortunately, but it was still a satisfying ending. So these books are kind of retellings. The first one, The Madman's Daughter, is a retelling of The Island of Dr. Moreau, I think, and I haven't read that, so I couldn't really compare it. The second one is a retelling of The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I haven't read either, so couldn't really compare it. And then the third book is a retelling of Frankenstein. It's not really retellings, it's more inspired by Frankenstein, which I have read, so I could make the comparisons, and I think it was a really fun story inspired by Frankenstein, and I really like seeing the parallels between the two. So overall, I think if you're interested in science and you like twisted stories with a main character who's constantly conflicted over whether she's good, whether she's bad, she's constantly battling between her scientific curiosity but also the dangers that go along with it. These books talk a lot about scientific experiment and the morality that goes along with it. You know, does the end justify the means and things like that. This story makes you think a lot and ask a lot of questions and, you know, reconsider some things, like if you were in these situations, what would you do? These books are very dark. They're all really, really creepy and have like an ominous, weird feeling to them. But I love that kind of stuff. I love dark, weird, twisted stuff, so I thoroughly enjoyed these books. It has this balance between horror and beauty, and I was just totally sucked in by them. If they sound like something you're interested in, I would recommend them. Do I think everyone would like them? No, probably not, especially since they kind of have a love triangle throughout them. The love triangle is mostly in the first book, and then it kind of changes a little bit throughout the rest of the books. I didn't really find it that annoying, but I don't really mind love triangles. I thought it was a really interesting one. So if you don't mind love triangles and you like dark stories, I would recommend this series to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.